story begins with Lucas, a protagonist who has every right to be the most embittered. The entire class is teleported together into a new, special world, where each one of them is chosen one by one to become a hero. However, Lucas is the only one who is immediately rejected by the goddess. According to the goddess, his level is only 1, the lowest, and his unique skill is also considered a useless skill that only debuffs others. Because of this, the goddess throws him into the most dangerous place, an abandoned and perilous abandoned ruins, from which no one has ever returned. For an ordinary person, this would mean certain death, but Lucas possesses a talent that no one expected. His skill, which debuffs others, is actually a skill with 100% accuracy, meaning if he uses it on someone, it will always work. And the most significant thing is that different debuffs can stack together. Even if it's a level 100 monster, Lucas can easily defeat it. He has only one mission. If he ever returns from this place, he will make the arrogant goddess and his classmates, who mocked him, pay a heavy price. Even before being transported to this new world, Lucas's life wasn't good. His family abused him. Every day, he would be beaten at home, and when he went to school, his classmates would ignore him, mock him, and bully him whenever they felt like it. One day, while the entire class was on a school trip, a strange divine light appeared and transported everyone to a new world. When they regained consciousness, a beautiful goddess was in front of them, explaining that they had been given a mission in this new world, to defeat the Demon King. This is a mandatory task, and only then can they return to their original world. The class leader objects, saying that they are just normal students and don't possess any magical powers, so how can they defeat the Demon King? In response, the goddess simply smiles and pulls out a large glowing crystal ball. At the goddess's command, each student places their hand on the crystal ball one by one. As soon as someone touches it, their true power is revealed. Some students turn out to be C-level or D-level heroes, which is decent. However, most students are either A-level or B-level heroes, who are very powerful, and 3 students are so lucky that they receive the rarest S-level powers. But when it's Lucas's turn, his crystal ball turns black. Everyone is shocked. This signifies only one thing: he is worthless. Lucas's skill is status abnormality infliction, which can inflict negative status effects on others. The goddess immediately announces that this skill is useless and a waste, as its success rate is very low. No one uses it. Before Lucas can say anything, the goddess ignores him. She commands that the weakest hero be exiled immediately. The reason given is that a weak hero will only be a burden to the strong heroes and will put their journey at risk. A teleportation circle is activated for Lucas, sending him to a dangerous dungeon where no one has ever survived. At that moment, Lucas begins to examine his skill, but the goddess just laughs and says, "In this world, your skill is a useless talent. No one uses it because its success rate is practically 0. The class leader tries to stop the goddess from making this cruel decision, but she punches him away. Seeing this, Lucas's anger flares up. Without thinking, he tries to use his status abnormality infliction on the goddess, but the goddess has anti-debuff protection, causing the attack to fail. Seeing this, his classmates laugh even harder, and they tell him, "If you ever come back alive, we'll mock you even more." At that moment, Lucas has only one thought: if I ever return, I will destroy all of you. With a flash of light, Lucas is teleported to a very dark and terrifying place, an abandoned ruin. As soon as he uses magic to clear the scene around him, he realizes that human bones are scattered everywhere. These are the remains of those who were sent here before and did not survive. Then, a massive monster attacks him from behind. Lucas somehow dodges the attack and runs, but the monster chases him. At this moment, Lucas thinks he is going to die, but then in desperation, he uses his skill, and the skill works. The monster is immediately paralyzed. Lucas can't understand how this is possible, as the goddess had said the skill was worthless. He thinks it might just be his luck, but then another monster appears, and Lucas uses his skill on it, and once again the skill is successful. Lucas is shocked. His skill has 100% accuracy, and the most dangerous thing is that different status effects can stack. Every time Lucas uses his skill, his mana starts to deplete, but when a monster dies from poison, Lucas's level instantly jumps to 258, and his mana is fully restored. His mind quickly realizes if he follows this pattern, he can level up limitlessly. In just a short while, his level reaches 501, and the monsters that were attacking him start to flee. But Lucas begins to feel hungry. He looks around for something to eat, and when he finds nothing, he is forced to try eating the meat of the dead monsters. Then, he finds a mysterious bag of relics that provides him with a modern world's food supply. Now Lucas decides he won't just survive, he will take revenge. As Lucas is thinking about how to move forward, a soul devourer, Shihunmo, slowly starts advancing towards him. This is a very dangerous demonic creature that can create many humanoid creatures with just a single spit. When Lucas encounters them, the discarded warriors who once came to this dungeon stand before him. These are the same people whom the goddess deemed weak and sentenced to death here. Lucas hesitates when he sees them, as they still look human. Would it be right to kill them? Seeing this confusion, the soul devourer begins to smile with joy, as human anxiety and fear are delightful to it. It slowly approaches Lucas, aiming to prolong his despair. But the soul devourer forgot one thing. This was all an act by Lucas. Lucas. Lucas had already realized that a direct fight was impossible, but he also knew that every arrogant opponent has a major weakness. They assume victory is certain. The moment the Soul Devourer relaxed, Lucas used his 100% accuracy skill and paralyzed and poisoned it in one go. Lucas's acting skills had developed because he had been a victim of domestic abuse since childhood. For him, showing his true emotions only led to more beatings. Because of this, he had developed a natural talent, hiding his true emotions to achieve his goals. The Soul Devourer is defeated in a single attack. When it is finally destroyed, the souls of all the discarded warriors trapped in the dungeon appear before him. They thank him and make one request: to destroy the goddess one day. Lucas, who already had a burning desire for revenge, simply smiles coldly and promises them that he will definitely bring an end to the goddess. Lucas finally fixes the special artifact inside the gate, unlocking the exit gate of the abandoned ruins. When he steps outside, his stats screen is quite shocking. His level, skills, and power have increased thousands of times compared to his former classmates. But the most important thing is the upgrade of his 2 status abnormality skills. Paralysis. Now, it can instantly disable a target by targeting their head. Poison. It can now generate non-lethal poison, meaning he can poison someone just to scare them without killing them. Lucas thinks it's necessary to test the real-world effects of these skills, so he heads towards a jungle. As soon as Lucas enters the jungle, he hears a strange noise. When he gets closer, he sees a small slime being bullied by a bigger slime. This reminds Lucas of his own past, when he was constantly bullied and no one ever helped him. But Lucas is shocked when the small slime fights back for the first time. Seeing this, Lucas decides to help it. He uses his paralysis and non-lethal poison, causing the bigger slime to flee in shock. As it leaves, Lucas notices that the small slime is still chasing it. After this, Lucas adopts it as his pet and names it Kun Kun Maru. Another shocking incident occurs in the jungle. An elf girl is running away from someone, and she is being chased by a mercenary group called the Holy Guardians. Lucas starts his innocent act without any suspicion, aiming to confuse the mercenaries. But the mercenaries are not fooled by Lucas's innocent face and decide to kill him. Little do they know that Lucas has already trapped them. A single group paralysis attack instantly freezes all the mercenaries. Then Lucas launches a group poison attack, killing them all instantly. The elf girl is shocked, as she had no idea that Lucas could eliminate 4 trained mercenaries in just 1 second. Lucas also senses that the elf girl was thinking of killing him, but there were other emotions in her that clearly created confusion. Because of this, Lucas casually walks up to her and starts a conversation. The elf girl is initially cautious, but Lucas's words seem genuine. She tells him about the secrets of this world and the people who study forbidden knowledge. The girl also feels guilty because Lucas helped her, and she couldn't give anything in return. Lucas realizes that this girl is emotional and loyal, making her a good future ally. He tells her that his paralysis skill is only active for 2.5 minutes, after which she can move normally. After this, Lucas sets off on his next journey. Meanwhile, in another part of the jungle, Lucas's classmates are still focused on their training and growth. The goddess has created a dangerous test for them. Anyone who fails will face the same fate as Lucas. The classmates who are S rank and A rank heroes are confident in their powers, as their levels are around 10 to 20, but they have no idea that Lucas's level is already 1,789. However, some intelligent and cunning students in the class begin to realize that the power dynamics within the class are changing. Because of this, they form a small group to manipulate the weaker students. On the other hand, the class leader, who had previously stood up to the goddess for Lucas, finally comes to his senses. As soon as he requests the goddess to spare the weak students from punishment, the goddess only shows fake sympathy and says, "Only the strong survive." After this, the leader guarantees his S-rank power and takes responsibility for everyone. The goddess accepts this, but there is an evil smile on her face. As Lucas and the elf girl, Sloss, are about to part ways, she is about to collapse due to fatigue. Seeing her deep, dark circles under her eyes, Lucas advises her to rest a bit, but Sloss ignores her condition and says she is fine. After a simple goodbye, she leaves. After this, Lucas delves deeper into the jungle. This dungeon is completely different from the one the goddess had thrown him into. The monsters here are extremely weak. Lucas uses a combination of paralysis and poison attacks to kill one monster after another. For him, it's effortless. Just one paralysis, one poison, and one final sword strike, and the monster is done. But Lucas also realizes that the XP from these monsters is very low. For him, this is just a waste of time. Lucas is still hunting monsters when he hears a familiar voice. The yellow-haired pervert who had been harassing Sloss earlier. The guy, along with 2 hired fighters, wants to take revenge on Sloss. Hearing their dirty talk, Lucas can't control himself for even a second and steps forward. The enemies laugh when they see Lucas. They say, "No one cares if someone dies here," but Lucas starts his act of surrender. He shows fake fear, apologizes to them, and guarantees that he wants peace. When the enemies relax, Lucas instantly paralyzes and poisons all 3. All 3 are immediately immobilized, and Lucas quickly finishes them off without wasting any time. As soon as Lucas deals with with this problem, he encounters the Sword Tiger Mercenary Group, a powerful and famous group on the continent. Their leader tells Lucas, "You should leave this dungeon quickly." The reason? The monsters in this dungeon are dying in strange ways. Every monster is dying instantly from a single attack. The mercenaries find this very suspicious, but they have no idea that this is all Lucas is doing. Lucas simply thanks them and pretends to leave. Lucas goes deeper into the dungeon and finds the Dragon's Eye Sacred Chalice, a very powerful and rare treasure. But Lucas immediately realizes that the chalice is being guarded by a stone statue monster. Without taking any risks, Lucas uses an instant paralysis and poison attack to kill the monster. As soon as he picks up the chalice, his pet Kun Kun Maru warns him that someone is behind him. It's none other than Sloss. Lucas simply smiles and hands the chalice to Sloss, as he doesn't need money. He just wants to collect special materials from the deeper parts of the dungeon. Sloss is completely shocked, as she didn't expect Lucas to give her such a valuable treasure so easily. But she doesn't want to take it without giving anything in return, so she offers to become Lucas's personal bodyguard using her sword skills. Lucas immediately accepts the offer. Now Lucas and Sloss are working together as a team to clear out monsters. Meanwhile, the other classmates are still fighting weak skeleton warriors and screaming with every hit, but Lucas and Sloss kill a high-level skeleton king in just one attack. After this fight, Lucas finds a mysterious giant egg. He doesn't know which species it belongs to, so he decides to take it with him to study it. As soon as Lucas and Sloss exit the dungeon, Sloss is invited to a special thank you dinner by the city lord. Lucas ignores this event, as his only focus is revenge against the goddess. But he wants to study a forbidden magic that is the biggest path to reaching the goddess. For this, he needs a bodyguard, and Sloss is the perfect candidate. But Sloss hesitates. Her behavior seems quite suspicious. Lucas straightforwardly asks her the truth and tells her that he already knows her real identity. Sloss is actually a runaway elf princess. Hearing this, Sloss also opens up about her emotions to Lucas. They make a proper deal, and now Sloss officially becomes Lucas's companion. The next day, Sloss finally accepts the city lord's dinner invitation. But the dinner is not a simple event. The city lord calls in an illusion-breaking expert to reveal Sloss's true identity. When this news spreads, everyone finds out that the person who took the Dragon's Eye Sacred Chalice was a runaway elf princess. And the worst part? The Black Dragon Knights, the most powerful knight order on the continent, are now after Sloss. Sloss is now in a deadly chase. Due to the illusion breaking, her light elf disguise has also been broken. Now she is fighting with archery and brute force, but only against normal Black Dragon Knights. The actual commander hasn't even joined the fight yet. In just a second, she is overpowered and knocked down. Just when she loses hope, Lucas enters. Sloss is shocked. "Lucas, how are you here?" Without answering, Lucas directly paralyzes and poisons the Black Dragon and the Knights. The Black Dragon dies from the deadly poison, but the Knights are only temporarily disabled. Sloss tells Lucas, "If you stay with me, the Black Dragon Knights will consider you an enemy too." But Lucas simply smiles and throws a bag towards her. When Sloss opens the bag, it is filled with priceless blue dragon stones. Sloss is shocked. "Are you trying to hire me for a lifetime?" Lucas just gives a cold smile. Meanwhile, the goddess is playing a new game. Lucas is now facing the continent's strongest warrior, the leader of the Black Dragon Knights, Gadlin. Gadlin, known as the strongest warrior of humanity, could never have imagined that the weakest level 1 warrior, Lucas, could defeat him in just 1 second. But Lucas's paralysis and poison combo was so overpowered that as soon as he attacked, Gadlin and his soldiers began to slowly die from the poison. The more they tried to move, the more intense the poison's effect became. Gadlin couldn't bear this humiliation, and, at the last moment, sent out a distress signal to summon all nearby Black Dragon Knights to attack Lucas. The Black Dragon Knights launch an aerial attack from a distance, but they don't know that Lucas's abnormal status ability works at any range. In just 1 second, all the knights fall from their dragons and begin to die painfully from poison and paralysis. But Gadlin is still alive. Lucas immediately realizes that this man is on a different level. Gadlin's presence is so scary that it feels like a sword is being held to his throat. Lucas knew that if he even thought of attacking directly, he would die in a second. Gadlin is actually impressed by Lucas. He says, "You know that if you even try to raise a hand against me, you will die instantly, and yet you look so relaxed. Aren't you afraid of death?" Lucas immediately realizes that Gadlin's special ability is lie detection. This means that whatever Lucas says, the truth will be revealed. Lucas can't play his usual acting game. Because of this, Lucas directly attacks another weakness within Gadlin, his ego. Lucas challenges his self-respect and asks him, "Do you always fight people weaker than you, or have you ever met someone stronger than you?" Gadlin can't answer this question, as he has always been the strongest. Lucas, knowing this, immediately plays his next card, the goddess. He tells Gadlin, "If you want a worthy opponent, you can fight the goddess, because one day I will destroy her too." But Gadlin just gives a slight smile and says that they have a peace agreement with the goddess. Lucas is a bit disappointed by this, but he also realizes something important. There is a kind of partnership between Gadlin and the goddess, but there are cracks in it. Lucas immediately uses his next strategy. He reveals his isekai warrior identity and tells Gadlin, "Do you know that the the contract you have with the goddess is actually a trap. She created someone like me who can become stronger than you. Gadlin is completely shocked, and when his lie detection ability checks Lucas's words, he realizes that Lucas is not lying. This means that one day Lucas could truly become more powerful than the goddess. Hearing this, Gadlin finally decides that instead of killing Lucas now, he will see him as a worthy opponent in the future. But letting Sloss go is impossible. Gadlin tells Lucas, "I will let you live, but you must leave your elf companion." Lucas immediately twists the situation and says, "If I want to reach the goddess, I need Sloss's help, so I have to keep her for now." The other members of the Black Dragon Knights protest, but Gadlin just gives them a look, and they all fall silent. Gadlin finally lets Lucas go and says, "There will be a real battle between you and me one day. At that time, I will end you forever." Gadlin and his remaining army finally leave, but they don't know that Lucas has already written their end. As soon as the Black Dragon Knights leave, Lucas immediately begins his next move. He uses Sloss's clothes to create a fake death scene so that everyone thinks Sloss is already dead. Now no one will chase her. Sloss is completely surprised. "Why did you do this?" Lucas simply says with a cold smile, "Our fight has just begun." Sloss warns Lucas that there is someone within the Black Dragon Knights who might be even stronger than Gadlin, an assassin who could be Lucas's biggest challenge. But Lucas just gives a slight laugh and says that he might have already killed him. Sloss is completely shocked. Meanwhile, the goddess is manipulating Lucas's classmates. Her new agent, Meow Dan, has started training Lucas's former classmates. The yellow-haired bully who used to mock Lucas is now being controlled by Meow Dan in just 1 second. Even the class leader can't keep up with Meow Dan's speed. Now, Lucas's former classmates are entering a new phase. Will they turn against Lucas? Lucas is no longer just a weak, discarded hero. He has now become the most dangerous person on the continent. The Black Dragon Knights were destroyed in a single attack by him. The goddess is still clueless about his power, and Sloss, an elf princess, is now by his side, with her full loyalty. But in Lucas's heart, there is only one thing: revenge. And now his next target is the goddess's greatest enemy, a forbidden witch. Until now, Lucas had been relying solely on his abnormal skills, but he realizes that if his magic ever fails or his mana runs out, he could become vulnerable. Because of this, he thinks about learning close combat. Sloss, who is an elite swordswoman and an elf princess, is ready to train Lucas without any hesitation. Sloss says, "Don't show me any mercy. Attack me with all your strength." But as soon as she says this, her words take on an awkward meaning. Lucas is a bit hesitant, but he still tries to attack her with full force. But after just 2 attacks, he is immediately defeated. Sloss's quick counter causes Lucas to fall to the ground. After this, Sloss accidentally drops her sweaty clothes on Lucas and decides to wash them for him. But as she starts washing the clothes, an unexpected moment occurs that creates tension between them. Lucas tries to ignore this moment, but he realizes that there are some emotional changes happening within Sloss. But right now, his mind is focused on only one mission: revenge. Lucas decides that he won't accept any emotional distractions until he has taken full revenge on the goddess. Sloss understands this and officially commits to fully supporting Lucas's revenge mission. At night, Lucas can't sleep. Sloss notices this and creates a mix of her rare medicinal herbs that can act as a sleep aid. The problem is that she has 2 types of herbs, one that induces sleep and one that gives the body extreme excitement and energy. Since both herbs are almost the same color, Sloss accidentally makes the wrong potion. Lucas and Sloss realize something is wrong as soon as they drink the potion. The atmosphere instantly becomes awkward, and Lucas picks up a book to try and divert his attention. But the potion's effect is stronger on Sloss, and her words give a hint of white flag. But Lucas quickly takes control and focuses on his goal. Sloss also realizes that there is no room for emotions right now. She commits to doing anything to help Lucas take revenge on the goddess. The next morning, Lucas and Sloss arrive at the Blood Arena. Sloss gathers information about the arena's strongest fighter. She learns that the Blood Arena champion, known as the Violent Woman or War Goddess, is actually a former slave. She hasn't lost a single fight in the past 3 years. She has enough money to buy her freedom, but she continues to fight just to save another slave girl. But it is also understood that the Blood Arena's manager, Duke, eliminates every strongest fighter in their last fight. And now, the War Goddess is about to have her last fight, in which Duke has secretly planned to kill her. Lucas thinks about taking advantage of this situation. Lucas personally meets the War Goddess and warns her that Duke will betray her. But she doesn't believe Lucas. So Lucas proves his power by paralyzing and poisoning her in just 1 second. Her entire belief system collapses when she sees that Lucas has destroyed the Black Dragon Knights. Finally, she believes that Lucas is telling the truth, but she still refuses to run away from the fight because she wants to be free legally by following the Blood Arena's rules. Lucas gives her another chance and tells her that if she wants to change her decision, she should meet him at the gate at night. Lucas doesn't force her, which is a shocking moment for her. The War Goddess finally goes to Duke and sees the truth. She hears that Duke has already planned to kill her, and the worst part, her best friend, the slave girl she wanted to protect, is about to be tortured by Duke. Seeing this, the War Goddess finally breaks. She makes makes her final decision. She will run away with Lucas and kill Duke. Lucas and the War Goddess sneak into Duke's mansion and hear his entire plan. The War Goddess's slave friend is being tortured in the bar. Without any hesitation, Lucas destroys the entire bar and saves the slave. Duke tries to run, but Lucas paralyzes and poisons him in 1 second. The War Goddess beheads Duke with a single sword strike. Now the blood arena is officially about to collapse. Lucas, Sloss, and the War Goddess set off towards a new destination in search of the Forbidden Witch. Meanwhile, the goddess is still thinking that Lucas is a discarded hero, but she has no idea that Lucas has already become a living legend. His former classmates are still fighting first-level monsters in their training arc, while Lucas has already formed an entire mercenary group. Lucas executes his plan on the battlefield without any fear. He uses Sloss as bait to lure the enemy into a tight formation. The moment the enemy leader thinks he is about to win, Lucas launches a surprise attack. His signature paralysis skill instantly immobilizes all the surrounding enemies. Then Lucas launches a strong poison attack, causing the enemy leader, who was just boasting, to silently await his death. But this wasn't Lucas's final move. There was another problem. Duke's second army was also attacking. Lucas thinks about wiping out both armies at once, but then a hidden limitation of his paralysis skill is revealed. It only works on 80 people at a time. As more people attack on the battlefield, Lucas quickly changes his strategy and converts his paralysis skill into a blindness skill. In just 1 second, all the approaching soldiers lose their vision. The violent woman War Goddess takes full advantage of this and starts eliminating the soldiers one by one without hesitation. The battlefield turns into a bloodbath in just a few seconds. Lucas executes his final cleanup plan. He freezes the corpses and shatters them, leaving no evidence of their deaths. The biggest advantage of this is that people blame the sorcerer group, and no one suspects Lucas or his group. At night, Lucas is alert and unable to sleep. Sloss is a bit hesitant seeing this, but she suggests that if Lucas lies on her lap, he might be able to sleep. But Lucas's reaction is a bit unexpected. Lucas ignores her and tries to relax normally, as his focus is solely on revenge, and he won't accept any distractions until the goddess is destroyed. Sloss falls silent after this, but she secretly decides to fully support Lucas. The next morning, Lucas finally reaches his destination, the location of the Forbidden Witch. As he and his group approach the magical region, a device on Sloss's hand activates. Green dots show their location, and red dots show the warriors at the training grounds. Lucas realizes that this is the best place for training, but his level is already so high that normal people seem like newbies. Then his pet Kun Kun Maru points to his bag. When Lucas opens the bag, his newly acquired egg starts to hatch, and out of the egg comes a legendary 8-legged horse, Odin's mythical mount. Initially, the horse looks like a normal foal, but as soon as it absorbs 1,000 mana, it undergoes its second evolution, and if it absorbs 10,000 mana, it will achieve its ultimate form. Lucas immediately realizes that this horse can be a perfect transportation unit, but as soon as Lucas starts to decide on a name for it, the horse's behavior suddenly becomes strange. At this time, Lucas's former classmates are also training. Their training mentor is a mercenary group called Sword Tiger, which is training them on behalf of the goddess. Everyone is focused on their level-up training, but the yellow-haired bully, who was once Lucas's enemy, is extremely irritated. He feels that being protected during training is an insult to his real strength, and then an opportunity arises that gives him a chance to show his power. At night, a sudden monster stampede occurs in the jungle. Powerful tree-like monsters start spawning. The classmates panic, and even their instructors are shocked. The yellow-haired bully is confident that he can handle this situation alone. He goes to fight the monsters, while the instructors clearly say that no student should fight. Meanwhile, Lucas also feels the monster movement, but he completely ignores it because his focus is on reaching the Forbidden Witch. As Lucas and his group approach a cave, an unexpected monster attack occurs. Sloss instantly counterattacks, but Lucas feels that the situation is not normal. When the monster dies, all the monsters in the jungle suddenly go berserk and start focusing only on Lucas's group. Seeing this, Lucas immediately realizes that this monster was their leader, and now they are seeking revenge. Lucas makes a quick decision. The classmates and normal people hide in the mountain cave. Lucas and his mounts charge into the monsters to create a huge distraction. His legendary 8-legged horse activates full-speed escape mode. Lucas realizes that if he wants to survive, he must level up. He has only one best option: eliminate the monsters with the highest XP. These monsters are humanoid face beasts that are highly intelligent and tactical. But there is another problem. According to the system's rules, if Lucas is too far from the corpse, he won't get XP. So Lucas goes in the reverse direction and starts systematically eliminating the face beasts, and as soon as he kills the first beast, his XP instantly boosts. The entire jungle battlefield comes under Lucas's control in just a few minutes. The more monsters he kills, the faster his power exponentially increases. But a major problem arises. Two monsters are so intelligent that they use the bodies of other monsters to block Lucas's attacks. These monsters become the biggest counter to Lucas's abnormal skills, as without a direct line of sight, his skills don't work. But Lucas makes another tactical decision. He orders his pet horse Shusei, 8-legged horse, to charge at high speed, creating a large dust cloud on the battlefield. As soon as the dust covers the area, Lucas secretly moves behind the monsters and directly paralyzes and berserks them. The result? The two intelligent monsters start killing each other, and Lucas easily finishes them off. The remaining monsters become mere fodder for Lucas. Lucas uses his most aggressive strategy. He stands in one place and lets the monsters come to him. After killing one monster, another attacks, but Lucas instantly eliminates it too. One after another, all the monsters start to perish. Now, Lucas has finally reached level 2000 plus, but he didn't know that his ex-classmates are still scattered in the jungle, and their survival seems impossible. Meanwhile, the war goddess, Violent Woman, goes out to look for Lucas, but she can't find him. Instead, she finds a scared female classmate who is running away from the jungle's monster stampede. From the classmate, the war goddess gets shocking news. Two people from the goddess's brave warriors group have already died, and there is another betrayal. The classmates who were with her have abandoned her and run away. The war goddess tries to save her, but then another major twist occurs. The goddess is still under the illusion that Lucas is a discardable trash hero, but the reality is that Lucas has officially become a walking disaster. His level has now reached 2000 plus. The effectiveness of his abnormal skills has reached the next level. He wiped out an entire jungle in just one battle. Meanwhile, the goddess's other warriors are just grateful to be alive in the jungle, but they have no idea that their survival was possible because of Lucas. But for Lucas, this battle was just a test. The real downfall of the goddess will come from the Forbidden Witch. But Lucas's biggest opponent was still alive, the Monster King, who had now fully developed a counter to his abnormal skills. Every time Lucas raised his hand, the Monster King instantly created a body shield. When Lucas attacked, the Monster King launched a full-scale laser blast. In one moment, the Monster King's powerful laser injures Lucas's hand. Even Lucas's strongest mount, Shusei, falls due to a heavy impact. The Monster King immediately executes a final attack, but Lucas makes a last-second bait play. He uses his mask as a distraction, making the Monster King think that Lucas will attack from the side. But the real surprise is Kun Maru, Lucas's pet, secretly distracts him, and Lucas jumps in the air to deliver the final blow. The Monster King is officially dead, and Lucas instantly levels up twice. And now, Lucas unlocks another high-tier skill, which will become his final trump card against the goddess. But just as Lucas feels victory, another problem arises. His body is completely exhausted, and he can't even move. But the war goddess comes to his rescue and carries him to a safe zone. At night, Lucas finally meets the war goddess and Sloss. Sloss feels relieved to see him, but then an unpredictable moment occurs. When Sloss forces Lucas to rest, she secretly gives him an elf kiss on his lips. Sloss thinks that Lucas is in deep sleep and won't notice, but as soon as she moves her head, Lucas secretly feels something on his lips. Lucas just gives a slight smile but says nothing. His only mission is revenge. The next morning, Lucas's final step begins. He has finally found the location of the Forbidden Witch. Sloss and the war goddess accompany him, and when they finally reach the mystical cave, they encounter a barrier that only high-level mana users can open. Sloss and Lucas break the barrier's code, and as soon as they enter, their biggest enemy stands before them, the Forbidden Witch. Now what will happen with all of them? To find out, like the video and subscribe to the channel.